All right, music fans, welcome back to the Harmless Dave channel. I'm Harmless Dave. Thanks for being here. And of course, talking about real music and doing it in real time for a few real people out here, just like you right there, and just like me right here. So this month, I've been boasting about Lone Rider and their brand new album called Down in the Dust. Um, I collect these, by the way. I have all three Lone Rider albums. This is Sundown, which was my album of the year in 2022. I mean, this is just one of my favorite modern rock albums. And this is really classic rock for the current age. Simon Kirke from the original Bad Company is the drummer for this project. And of course, this dates back to their debut album. And this one's called Attitude, and plagiarizing a little bit from the Dangerous Age period with that album cover, but I really like it. And this is mostly the Paul Rogers sound, but maybe a couple of toes in the water, so to speak, for the Brian Howe period of Bad Company with the singing, which I would say Steve Overland, although very derivative of Paul Rogers in some ways, also has a little bit of Brian Howe in his singing voice. And this is quite a lineup if you haven't really checked this out. Their guitar player is a dude by the name of Steve Morris, who played in the Ian Gillan band. And then the bassist is a guy from the band Thunder. If you don't know who Thunder are, you should check them out. They're a pretty interesting band. His name is Chris Child. And the debut album, which again I have here, it's called Attitude, was totally praised by critics when it came out. I mean, the reviews on it were just spectacular. And one of the reasons I think the reviews were so good and continue to be good to this day for this project is with Bad Company on permanent hiatus. Paul Rogers obviously had many health issues there for a while and did put out a really decent solo record that nobody really touched in the classic rock world, which is really sad because Paul Rogers, one of the great singers of all time, and he comes back from battling all of these health issues, puts out a really decent album, and nobody pays much attention to it. I mean, yeah, the classic rock websites talked about it, but I'm talking about radio airplay other than my friends over at the radio station called Modern Retro Radio, which, by the way, you should check out if you haven't listened to it before, because they will play new stuff by older people who are being ignored by the industry, which is truly a shame. But man, this album here, which just came out, adds another fantastic musician by the name of Steve Mann, who plays the Hammond organ. And it just gives it a nice old school flavor to hear the Hammond B3 back there. I just love that sound. And this is classic rock and blues and all the, things you loved about Bad Company, the original Bad Co. And look, I often say that there should have been another generation of music to, keep this going. And there is, but nobody is really paying that much attention to it. So again, this is my plug for the band Lone Rider. I typically don't do standalone videos on newer bands or bands that are project bands. But keep in mind, when I spoke with Steve Overland, I did an interview with him when Sundown came out, and he was talking about maybe putting a few shows together because now the band has 3 albums worth of material. And my guess is they probably will play a Bad Company song or two in addition to all of their solo material. If people here in the United States, like the Eddie Trunks of the world, would get behind one of these projects and say, hey, hold the phone, stop the presses. This is the kind of music that we grew up listening to, and we complain a lot that, it's kind of going away. But when some of it actually shows up, we should be celebrating that. We should be promoting it and spreading the word, telling our friends, telling people who have given up on the music scene these days. One more time, okay? And this is courtesy of my good friends over at Escape Music, which, quite honestly, is a very consistent record label in the melodic rock world. If you peruse their catalog, you're going to find stuff that just will be kind of mind blowing because you probably didn't know it existed. So, again, Lone Rider Down in the Dust, available now, makes for a decent stocking stuffer and even t-shirts, folks, while they last. And no, I don't work for the record label. um, I'm just really happy when something decent like this comes out, and you can go and listen to it, you can stream it, but buy a copy of the CD if you can. And yes, there's vinyl for you vinyl collectors. I believe there's a gatefold, like, was it 2 record set? And from what I understand, there are bonus tracks that you can only get on the vinyl, which I think is pretty interesting. But in any event, if you're a collector and you want to get more Lone Rider Down in the Dust, then get the 2 LP set. All right, people, I want to thank a lot of new subscribers coming back, or at least following me around. This is the new channel. The old channel is kind of frozen in time, but I'm looking for subscribers and patrons, and eventually maybe YouTube members. But right now it's Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. There will be links in the description if you'd like to support this channel. And I'd really appreciate that. God bless everyone in this holiday season. And again, makes a great gift for a classic rock fan. I'm sure people would like that under the tree, or even maybe a stocking stuffer. CD would go right in the stocking. Yeah, I think that would work. All right. Uh, See you soon.